Hi guys and welcome to Horologique. Today we will be unboxing the Seagull Ocean Star, and this watch was generously offered to me by the AliExpress influencer collab program. And what they do is they get in touch with YouTubers like myself and they tell you I enjoy your work, etc, etc. So choose between these watches and you get to get one and you get to make a review and then you get to keep it. I was not paid at all, of course, but I do get to keep the watch, so that's why you have seen the includes paid promotion in there. And all they have asked me is that I put the links in the description below so you can go and check this watch at the Seagull official store. And they have also included a $20 discount code that you guys can use from the 21st of October to the 31st of January. And of course, there's the 11/11 sale that's coming up. I am sure that this watch will be among those who will be discounted. Alright, let's see what came inside the box. Inside the box, of course, I had the watch that I have just barely opened just to make sure that it was the correct thing. And they do give you a NATO strap and a sizing tool, which tells me that these are just pin and collar. But okay, let's see what's in the box. So you get an instruction booklet, I suppose, that I guess I will never read. And you get the warranty card. Okay, mine appears to be stamped. I could not say. Alright. That does not interest us though. What we're interested in is the watch. And the watch is here. And you already can see that it's a pretty large watch and that it comes wrapped in all this plastic. As usual with Chinese watches, it comes always very well protected. So let's remove all this plastic and I'll get back to you then. Alright, and here's the watch free of its binds, and the first impression is that it's a pretty big watch. Let's get dimensions first out of the way, and yeah, it's a 43.7 in diameter, which is very big, very, very big. In thickness, you've got a 13.1, so that is not too bad, but if you check, there's a Cyclops here, so it might be a bit bigger on top of the Cyclops. Not that that matters too much anyway. And you've got a lug-to-lug of 50 millimeters, so not too bad for such a large watch. But it does have male end links, which make it that you've got an end link to end link dimension of 55.2, which is huge. We'll see how it wears on the wrist. The bracelet tapers from 22 to 20 and then back up at 22 at the clasp. So yeah, a big watch. The spec says that it weighs over 200, they say around 208 grams. Which is pretty big for such a watch. On wrist, this watch is big. It is not overly large though. As you can see, it fits my 7-inch wrist. It doesn't fit it too bad. It's okay. It will not look like an eyesore. And you can see that it is pretty slim. That is good. And you can see that even though that 55mm lug-to-lug is pretty big, you can see that those lugs angle down very well, as do those bracelet end links, so it does not look to overhang. So that is a pretty good way to make a very large watch wearable on middle-sized wrists. As you can see, I have chosen the blue version. There's also a black version, and on the store you'll see that there's a green version as well, but it does not appear to be the same watch. It's quite a different watch though, without a date, and which comes a bit cheaper. Let's talk about price though, and that might be the first Achilles heel of this watch. We're used to paying less for China-made products. However, this one is going to set you back less than the equivalent Seiko, of course. On the AliExpress store, it's going to be around $300, which is not cheap. However, you've got coupons, you've got quite big coupons that make it that it goes down to around $280, which is still quite a bit of money. It's not an inexpensive watch. So what does it have for itself to justify that quite high price tag? Well, it does have the design, first of all. Chinese watches are criticized for being mostly copycats. Seagull does not do it so. Seagull is a Chinese company and it is proud of being here. See, at the bottom, it is written China made. That is the first thing. Second thing, this watch is aesthetically quite pleasing. We'll get back to that later. And it is copying no one. You've got a high beat movement in here. It is of course a Chinese movement, but it is an automatic high beat 28,800 beats per hour movement. You've got a screw-down crown and you've got an ISO 6425 certification, which means that this watch is a diver's watch. You can actually go diving with it, contrary to other 200-meter watches that are not diver watches. Another thing, the construction is very well made. This watch will last for ages, given proper care. The construction of the bracelet is solid. You just do not have screw pins, you just have push pins. The buckle is signed Seagull, as you can see. You've got a folding security and you've got a double locking mechanism here. The elements of the clasp are solid, not the shell. The shell is pressed, but this part is solid and you do not have any attempt to give you more room with a badly made diver extension, which is good. You only have 3 levels of micro adjustment, which might be a bit low. I would maybe have preferred a bit more, but that would have made it that this clasp would have been a bit bigger and a bit chunkier. Therefore, there you go. The back of the watch, I have not removed it yet. Let me see, let's remove it now. On camera, let's see what we have here. Aha, that is pretty good. Pretty good. You've got an engraved Ocean Star logo in there, and not only is it engraved, but it has some color. Let's talk about the dial of this watch. You've got a sunburst dial. The sunburst is quite discreet, as you can see in there, and it has violet hues. On the top of the dial, you've got the Seagull symbol at 12, with Seagull written right underneath it, Seagull. At the bottom of the dial, you've got an applied Ocean Star, actually a depiction of an ocean star, and the lettering Ocean Star, of course. Divers 200 meters, very important, and automatic. And right below, you've got China made. So this is a Chinese watch, a Chinese design, and it is proud of that, and it shows that it is proud. At 3, you've got the date, which is framed. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there we go. There you can see the frame around this hour window. And you can see that not only is it framed, you've got a Cyclops amplifying the date. What about the indices? The indices are baton shaped. And I hope we've got good lume here. Speaking of lume, let's see those hands as well. Those hands are syringe hands. They don't look bad either. And we'll see on the full review, we'll see them under macro. That second hand is a lance hand, and you've got a lance tip on top of that hand. Pretty good, with a bit of lume. The lume is quite disappointing though, not too bad on the indices, but pretty bad on the hands, which makes it practically unusable. That is fine for an $80 watch, but for a $280, they should have really put better lume on those hands. And you've only have an aluminium bezel entered here, I doubt that this is ceramic. Yeah, this is just aluminum. Let's see how it rotates, however. It is a 60 click. It is not a 120 click. You've got just a bit of backplay. Not too bad, but you've got a bit of it. It is not like rock solid like some others. And the sensation, it is pretty clicky, and the sensation when you turn it is pretty rubbery. A bit like a Seiko, not exactly like a Seiko, but a bit like a Seiko with 60 clicks, not 120. And the good news is that it perfectly aligns with the dial. Let's talk about the case. You've got vertical brushing on top of lugs. You've got a chamfer to separate the top of lugs and the sides of the watch. And the sides of the watch are brushed or horizontally brushed. You've got crown guards, and those crown guards are of an unusual shape. Why not? They do protect the crown though pretty well. And the crown is signed, and you've got the Seagull sign in there. V, is it a V or is it a seagull with its wings flat? I'm not certain. Well, anyway. Let's go to the bracelet. You've got your typical 3-link bracelet. You've got polishing on the middle links, and you've got brushing on the side links, which make that this watch is, yeah, a bit flashy, but not too bad, like, let's say, the Saint Martin that I showed you last time. So, my first impressions of this Seagull Ocean Star are that it's a pretty big watch, one that wears its weight quite nicely, but pretty big nonetheless. It is very well built, as I showed you during this unboxing, and it is quite attractive if you're into these kind of watches. However, two things that draw it down, according to me, are the lume, the poor lume, and number two, the price. It's going to be competing against possibly even the Seiko Turtle at that price point. So at that price point, is it worth going for the Seagull? Is it worth going for the Turtle? Well, I'm going to let you decide that. The Turtle is definitely the most iconic model of the two. However, the Seagull has Sapphire, when the Turtle that has Sapphire is going to cost you $400, $450, so twice as much as the Seagull. And what's more, during the 11/11 sale, I am certain that this one is going to be heavily discounted. And in any case, you also have the code below that's going to give you $20 extra off. So it does make an argument for itself if you can have it for around, the $220, $230 mark. As usual, I'm going to be wearing this watch for a while, and I'm going to be letting you know what I think after a few weeks. Thank you very much, guys. If you cannot wait and you must get this watch, as usual, all the links are going to be in the description below, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Goodbye.